Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Green Zero here with another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. That's right, another Kane's Wrath game for you here today. Anyway, some other news, of course, if you haven't heard about the Revora ladders coming up, I mentioned that in my last video. They have got a lot of the maps in a ranked pool now, so they have got a ladder, somewhat of a ladder working now. They're obviously still working on it, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, also, if you were in Kimasabi's stream last night, well, on the weekend, from when this VOD was uploaded, you'll notice I hinted at something that's coming back. There is a special edition VOD lined up for my channel, so stay tuned. I'm not sure when that's going to launch, but it's going to be very soon because it is finished. And I just need to add a few bits and pieces to it, but stay tuned to my channel. That's going to be awesome. But anyway, we have Cyberstorm and we have LionCub playing on Smash Dustbowl. We're going to jump straight into this one. If we go down here, we're going to see playing as the yellow nod. It is going to be Cyberstorm, so he's going straight for a ref. It's obviously a random mirror. He doesn't know what he's up against. He's like, hey, if I'm not going to shadow team and go a lot of militant squads, probably going to go ref first. If we go up here, we're going to see LionCub. Haven't seen him for a while. LionCub, he is a nod faction as well. He's going to be nod vanilla, so there we go. He's got his confessors and such like that. So it's going to be a nod mirror here. Let me just jump back down. Is he nod? Let's have a look. No, I don't want to switch screens. Well, until we see one of his scouts, let's just assume he's a nod construction yard, blah, 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 blah. Drop a barracks or something, Cyberstorm. But anyway, it looks like LionCub is satisfied to go for... Actually, did he go for a spike? No, wow, he just sent out 2 scouts. So he went power plant into ref. And Cyberstorm went ref into power plant, and look at that, he's actually mock. So Cyberstorm is going to be mock here. He's got his war factory down, pretty much same time as LionCub's here. LionCub does have 2 scouts out. He's probably a bit suspicious, saying, hang on a second, no one's taken any of the spikes. He hasn't taken his spike, and he's moved to this building a bit closer here, but he's obviously content. There's the buggy, so he is concerned, and you should be concerned if you don't see any scouts at all. I mean, for the mock player, it's okay because he's got crappy mock scouts, and I think he just ran straight down the guts. He's going to see that he's against a nod faction now, and they're going to see each other's scouts and like, yep, cool, no worries. Looks like Cyberstorm might want to turn around. He's going to get shot up with this militant squad, so no, not paying attention there. Unfortunate, you really need as many scouts as you can in these nod mirrors because it's an open map as well, so we're going to see a lot of bikes. Bikes are definitely going to be preferable. 3 bikes from LionCub moving to the left-hand side. They want to avoid all vision. They're going to go straight down the left-hand side of the map. Buggy comes in now. This could fool Cyberstorm. He's like, hey, look, there's 1 buggy. That means he probably hasn't gone bikes. But he has, and they're coming in from the left-hand side. We can see them on the radar. We're going to have to see how well these guys can do. What's that battle marker down there? Powering down. He's got nothing to stop these bikes here. LionCub should be able to get a harvester. No worries. He could draft and sell. He's going to have to power. He's going to have to war factory micro. They're all accidentally turning around there. That's not good. He fires at the war factory. So LionCub missed micros as well there. So wasted a volley firing at the war factory. He really has not got anything to stop this. He's trying to put down the barracks. He's going to sell one of his power plants. Gets the amp blast off, but he does 2 of the bikes get away unemped. The other ones he will be able to... Oh no, another EMP blast comes down. He hits his own war factory, which is unfortunate. Scorpion tank is out as well. So it looks like LionCub will be losing these forces that he left behind, but he's killed a fair bit. Doesn't manage to finish off those guys there, but he got the harvester that he needed. He lost a bike and a buggy, which is... that's plenty good enough for him. I mean, we can see that Cyber's on 4 and 2 right now, but he still needs to replace power plants because he is definitely missing some of those. Meanwhile, LionCub has 4 and 2, but of course he's got the extra power plant. It's stalled out for cash at the moment. There's another power plant as well, so he's ahead in macro. And in terms of the economy, they're pretty even. I mean, it's going to be in favor, I believe, of Cyberstorm very shortly, unless, no, here comes the harvester. So LionCub's got himself a nice, or a very slight advantage from that attack. And he's shaken Cyberstorm up a little bit here. I have a feeling when I accidentally call Cyberstorm Dutch, if in case I've already done that. It's just that they both remind me that their playstyles are pretty similar. So we're going to have this mock squad's going to start to fan out. Puts the rocket squad and a mock squad in there. Could take the mock squad and send it wide. To be honest, my preference would be to scout the wide areas here. Send scouts out there, see if bikes are coming in. Gives you time to react instead of actually only seeing them once they jump into your field and kill your harvesters. So that's just my preference. But LionCub moved his MCV. Interesting position that he moved it down there. You would have thought he would have just gone straight and deployed over here and expanded, but no. He wants to go over here. He's actually deployed a barracks here so he can take this spike. Of course, it's going to be easy to defend this area if his buildings are facing to the north, so they got their backsides to any attacking units here that he can use them as cover. But LionCub content to keep going with some bikes and some buggies here. Wouldn't be surprised if a second war factory comes down, or it could be a refinery. Let's have a look and see what this is. he did build a handful of infantry, so yeah, it would be unusual if it wasn't a war factory, or if it was a war factory, because the infantry obviously here to defend a harvester, just in case he gets raided by anything. He's screwing around over on the right hand side of the screen here, coming down through this tib field here. Looks like Cyber has no eyes down there, so he's going to hit this field. Cyberstorm has an operations center, and he's got a decent amount of Scorpion tanks out, enough to defend this, but of course he can kite the Scorpion tanks. He's got enough bikes here to one-shot these Scorps, so he's going to try to pick off the ones on the edge here. And can he sneak around these Scorpion tanks? He is going to be able to sneak around. Cyberstorm does see it, but he doesn't react. He actually loses a Scorpion tank. And now he's going to lose a Harvester as well, so not reacting quick enough there, Cyberstorm, unfortunately. He's going to lose a Harvester. One Harvester is down, but the bikes now just bugging out. I should stop saying bugging out. I've been doing that the last couple of VODs. The bikes are basically retreating now through the back side of the base here. A couple of them do get picked off, which is okay for Cyberstorm, but I mean, to trade a Harvester for a couple of bikes, again, that's another small victory. It's just 2 small victories in a row here for LionCub, giving him a nice edge. He knows he's up against a lot of Scorp spam as well. Dozer Blade, no doubt, is on the way, and Cyber actually has double ref here, so that's a good effort. LionCub has double ref here, but he's got extra harvests. He's got another 2 harvesters. His second war factory is already done, and he's building Scorpion tanks. He's got about 8 tanks out at the moment. He doesn't have a tier 2, so he's not going to have Dozer Blades. Mind you, if this does, I said mind you, if this goes to the late game, of course, he will get laser capacitors, and the mock player will not get that. But Cyberstorm does have Dozer Blades, which is nice, but he's attacking this player here, or he's attacking LionCub here, and the rocket squad's here as well, stopping short those tanks turning around, and he will be able to defend this area here, I reckon, just because he's got the defender's advantage of the war factory, instant reinforcements and repairs. LionCub not pulling the damaged tanks back behind the war factory though. He's going to stand a fight here, bringing more tanks across now. It's all focused on this position here, but to be honest, I can't see Cyberstorm actually getting his way into this base, and yeah, he's going to retreat now. Pokes in, does a bit of damage, loses a handful of tanks. Pretty even trade there from both these players, but I have a feeling just by looking at the game here, that LionCub still holds that slight edge that he got a little bit earlier in the game. Trying to take some blue tib, has no blue Tiberium in that harvester whatsoever. These bikes and buggies might want to just get out of there. Yeah, they're gonna not quite know. They don't get a full reverse move there or retreat order, and they will be destroyed, so that's unnecessary. He could have sent them out wide. They can be scouts later on. Looks like Cyberstorm is going for his second expansion though as well, so he's really got a lot of eco on his mind. He's really pushing hard, nothing but Scorpion tanks. Decoy army comes down, immediately dispatched there, so not the best decoy army. And LionCub is going to be moving here. Doesn't have any Dozer Blades, but he does have the numbers, and he's got the positioning as well now, picking off a few of these front tanks, and he will be pushing these guys back. So Cyberstorm in a little bit of trouble here, and LionCub just moving forward, and both sides now starting to focus here, and there we go, retreating as well. You can actually order all your tanks to attack one unit, then give them a reverse move straight away, and they'll keep shooting that one unit while they're reverse moving. Nice trick that is. But looks like, yeah, Cyberstorm actually holding his ground here. Looks like LionCub pulled back a little bit, so we might have a really heavy Scorp game on our hands here, depending on how this goes. So these guys just pushing forward. Still no Dozer Blades on LionCub Scorpion tanks there, so Cyberstorm is definitely still reaping the benefits of that advantage. But of course, he will be probably looking to get another ref up on this expansion. Almost done. LionCub, meanwhile, does have his MCV here, and he is deploying, so it was momentarily undeployed, which is dangerous in a nod mirror. You can lose that. You should always waypoint the deploy. It's always the safest thing to do. Brings the infantry squads down here just to cause some problems if any tanks decide to roll into that base. They will obviously lose, but they'll be able to do enough sporadic damage, maybe hold the line just long enough for him to get down there. LionCub's Dozer Blades are almost done, so the next engagement he should have those ready to go. Dutch appears to have taken almost, or basically all of the blue Tiberium field in this game so far, and that harvester there has got nothing really much left to harvest, and he will be going back to base. Meanwhile, mock player over here, Cyberstorm, is moving his tanks up, and has he got his tanks split up? No, he's got some down here, so he's got 3 war factories, and he's not selling the operations center, so he's not going to really, fully go bike rush committal to this here, but obviously it's his main strategy. He's got to be concerned about if LionCub does tech another war factory out by LionCub as well, so he must have a lot of money if he's going for a triple war factory. I mean, he does have a lot of harvesters, a lot of economy, so he can definitely support it. But it looks like Cyberstorm is going to catch a few tanks snapping over here, and of course that's good news for him. Any tanks you can pick off where you have a great force multiplier like he does here is always a win. And LionCub is getting blocked out by these units and structures here, and I think the positioning from Cyberstorm is a lot better. But yeah, he's just doing a lot of fancy reverse moves here, now starting to target these tanks here, but LionCub does have Dozer Blades, and he's got a lot of numbers here. He's actually got a lot more than Cyberstorm, and both sides now going to focus each other down. So this is pretty intense here. I'm not sure who's going to win. There's a lot of shooting going on though. And LionCub, yeah, he's just, again, defender's advantage here. He's going to push this back. He could chase. I reckon he could definitely chase. And Cyberstorm not ready to go just yet. There's a battle marker on the other side of the map, but we're going to stay on this fight here because it's much more important right now. Decoy army comes down a little bit delayed before Dutch. You can get so many units on that decoy army if you know what you're doing. I'm just going to jump across and see what this is over here. No, it's just a buggy. Could be for some clicks, but I don't think it has a tech center. Meanwhile, Cyberstorm continuing to push in. He's got a lot of tanks which are on fire right now, so this army is very squishy, and there's actually an elite tank there for LionCub. LionCub could just give a move order right now, and I think he could just crush this army. A lot of tanks now blowing up from Cyberstorm, and he must realize it's probably time to get out of there. But yeah, he got ripped pretty bad. I don't think he should have gone in for the second part of that engagement. That probably wasn't a good idea. Battle marker over here, it's still that buggy chipping away. He does not have a technology center, so he doesn't have to worry about clicks. But LionCub, on the other hand, does not have a refinery down here. And that is concerning because Cyberstorm has 2, and he's harvested a nice chunk of this. So, I mean, it's lucky that LionCub is actually getting the benefit of the defender's advantage here and actually being able to really do a lot of damage to Cyberstorm, because his economy is not as strong anymore, you know. I mean, gathered that Cyberstorm has not fully harvested this field where LionCub is almost finished. So LionCub's harvested more of his second expansion here. We'll have to see how this one goes, of course. No one can reveal stealth, and both sides have stealth harvesters. So there is a refinery down here now from LionCub. He's going to be moving his tanks around. The one clicks are going to be super critical here. If someone wants to go for a tib vein, that could just end the game. But it looks like Cyberstorm, LionCub's found him on the left-hand side of this map. Decoy only goes straight ahead. And yeah, I think he's just going to be able to kill all of these tanks here. He's going to trap them into the left-hand side of this map here. And he's going to chase them down. And Cyberstorm is once again getting surrounded and crushed. And that is not good for him. LionCub there, really, his force multiplier is just crazy. He's not going to lose any more tanks, and yeah, he just crushes that one there. So that's unfortunate for Cyberstorm, who is actually pushing in over here. He's got a few of these tanks cornered or outnumbered over here, but of course LionCub is just going to re-rally his forces up. And we're going to see another major engagement, and Cyberstorm actually goes for the reverse move towards Cyberstorm's, towards LionCub's base. Emp Blast going off, a few of them catching a few tanks. But again, Cyberstorm is really not. Yeah, I just feel that he's losing these tank battles a little bit too easily. Here, giving away a few too many tanks here. LionCub is going to continue to pursue. He must be pretty happy with what he's got. He appears to have some fast attacking units on the right-hand side of the map as well. We'll have to see what that is. There's a few bikes over here, and there's no defense for these harvesters. They're in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, Dutch is moving through here. I will just call him Dutch. Cyberstorm is moving through here, forcing the sell-off, killing a few power plants. That's going to cause him some problems, but he is losing harvesters over here as well. LionCub has a two-pronged assault going on now. He's defending his main base while he's harassing the enemy base on the right-hand side there, and Cyberstorm, I think, is going to come off in the worst position here. He's continuing to lose more tanks over here. He's not doing as much damage I think he would have liked to have done, and meanwhile, more harvesters going down. His tanks finally responding. These harvesters are pulled off the line. He probably could have committed to destroying that last harvester, but no, he's going to get out of there now, and these harvesters here should, Scorpion tanks should be cleaned up. So yeah, a lot of Scorpion tanks, a lot of one fronting here from these guys, but it is a big open flat map, and it comes down all about positioning here, all about positioning, and LionCub has had it in this game. So he's in a nice position, and he's established his economy. This game is going to continue to go on. It's going to continue to carry on. Can Cyberstorm mount something? He's got a decent amount of tanks left, but he's really going to need to push hard to get back in this game here. I think he might need to lay off the aggression just a little bit, just until he recovers. He's got more tanks over here, but he does have a concave, but LionCub is just going straight through the middle here. I'm not sure how well this is going to work out for him. There's just a ton of tanks here from both sides. There's so many Scorpion tanks here, and it looks like Cyberstorm actually has a pretty good concave here. He might actually be getting the victory he needs to really push LionCub back. LionCub is in a little bit of trouble here. A lot of Scorpions coming in actually. So yeah, Cyberstorm has definitely got the great force multiplier here, killing units straight out of the tank. He's got so many tanks here now. LionCub's going to have to rally all his forces down, and this is what he needed. He has divided LionCub's forces, and he just crushed half of his army. The other half is now coming down here, but it's going to be an even fight now. If a LionCub had these down here beforehand, he would have been in a lot better shape. But yeah, Cyberstorm has a ton of tanks here. He's actually going to pull back momentarily. There is still some decoys in there, both sides firing. It's pretty tight. This engagement is continuing to go on as well. It's pretty tight. Look at the ground, it's so blackened as well. I can't even see what's going on here. And it looks like Cyberstorm will be pushing, or will be falling back, mind you. So it looks like LionCub will survive there. A lot of tanks here. This army is quite squishy. Yeah, look at that. There's about almost 7 or 8 tanks which are burning right now. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to go back in, because 1-2 shots and those tanks are going to explode, and it could be a crushing victory for LionCub if that were to occur. LionCub, of course, with this war factory here, has been doing a ton of repairs. Those repair drones are in overdrive right now, so they've been definitely been earning their keep on that war factory. And LionCub continue to harvest unimpeded. He has not lost any harvesters, I don't believe, in this game. It looks like Cyberstorm has literally just built nothing but Scorpion tanks. He has got the tanks back for repairs, but of course with only 3 drones per war factory, he should move them all over here because there's 6 drones because there's 2 war factories. And look at that, he does. He moves a few of the tanks across. He's like, hang on a second, I got more repair drones over here. I could be repairing these tanks a lot quicker. And the question is now, is LionCub actually on the offensive for the first time in a while? I mean, he obviously had those bikes on the top right-hand side, but it'd be interesting to see if he is going to go for laser capacitors at some point in time. He doesn't even have a tier 2 right now, so laser capacitors are out of the question, but that would help him to probably secure a victory in this game. But that's a lot to sink into it. 1,500 for the Operations Center, 4,000 for the Tech Center, and 2,500 for laser capacitors. That's a lot of tanks right there. So 4, 5, 6. 6.5, 7, that's like another 10 tanks. Like basically you could take a big chunk of this army and just remove it, and that's what he'd be missing if he went for that kind of tech. So he'd need to try to hold off. And look at this Cyberstorm. Wow, he's really pushing things. I don't think LionCub should have done that. He moved forward there trying to challenge it, but there are so many tanks here right now, and he might actually get out with the, I mean, obviously he's been punished pretty hard there. Look at all the tanks going down. He has been punished pretty hard, but not to the point where it was absolutely crippling. We're going to have another major engagement break up here as well, so looks like LionCub is once again going to challenge this. Tanks now moving forward here for Cyberstorm. Again, he's got a very squishy army, hasn't he? He's got a lot of burning tanks. Meanwhile, if we have a look at, look at the ranks on LionCubs. He's got 2 elite tanks. One of them at the front is probably going to go down straight away, but yeah, he really needs to fight this right here. His buildings are blocking out his own tanks, but he's going to come in now, and he should have a good concave. There's a lot of tanks stacking up here for Cyberstorm, and yeah, LionCub all of a sudden, it's pretty intense fire. How many of these fights have we had in this game? So many Scorpion tanks. These guys must have built in excess of, 150, 200 Scorpion tanks so far in this game, and they're still continuing to build these one and only unit, just trying to challenge each other to kill each other here. And it looks like Cyberstorm will be being pushed back. A lot of his squishy tanks here now actually getting destroyed, and he will be forced out of this position. LionCub actually backing up, realizes that was a pretty good run. He didn't want to overstep his boundary. But yeah, he's going to push forward again. I mean, obviously these guys here, it happens in odd mirrors or blackhand mirrors or whatever, where one player will go Scorpion tanks and the other one will challenge, and then they'll both have this mindset, no, I have to do nothing but Scorpion tanks the whole game. And we do see it quite a bit. They get that mentality, and it just ends up being these insane fights. This fight is still going. It is still going. We can see some Toxin Troopers or some Tiberium Troopers coming in, so he's obviously selling off his tech buildings to fund this. Another elite tank there from LionCub, so he's got another one, assuming it just gets destroyed, mind you. It's mind you again. And looks like Cyberstorm will be pushing, well, he will be falling back actually, so I can't even explain this. His fight is still going. Cyberstorm is reinforcing, and it's just that LionCub has had the upper hand in a lot of these fights. Cyberstorm has had some real killer moments though, like when he divided the army there and when he crushed it the further bit down there. So I think both sides have had their really good parts, but LionCub still appears to have an edge in this game, even though he's on the defensive quite a bit. Look at the ground here, it is so heavily damaged. There is so much fire and destruction here. And of course, favorite unit by both sides is going to be Scorpion tank. There's actually a battle marker over here. It's just some units burning down the spike. Cyberstorm does not have much Tiberium left. He's got a bit of Tiberium down here. LionCub has almost nothing. He has virtually nothing. His entire side of the map has almost nothing there. I'm not sure what he's doing. He needs to rally these tanks to the forward area here right now, because these tanks are getting overwhelmed. And there's a few, oh, he actually tries to build some Fanatics, but there is a Toxin squad there, and or the Tiberium Troopers, so that's interesting. Of course, the Fanatics are really good in these situations just because they can kill like 2-3 tanks, and sometimes up to 4 or 5 tanks if they're all bunched up. They are a really good unit to just spam out like this, and Cyberstorm is in a little bit of trouble here. Looks like LionCub is going to fall back just a little bit. That one squad will be getting killed by that Mock squad there. So that's unfortunate. He might actually land the kill on this. Yo, he does land the kill on that one there, so that's nice. So yeah, just trying to panic or pump some of those out. There are battle markers on the right hand side here. It's just one Scorpion tank. One Scorpion tank, a Harvester might be getting killed as well. But we'll stick over here. More Fanatics coming out. They can get Tib Infusion, which would make them a lot faster. There's no anti-imp here from Cyberstorm. There is one Awakened squad, and he is actually going to lose a few of these tanks to the Fanatics here now on an attack move, trying to chase these tanks down. And of course, that's just a problem here because he can't actually crush Fanatics, because that's exactly what he wants him to do. He's actually got a handful of squads still there. He's got 5 squads left, so that's pretty intense. Does he have any ranks on here? A couple of veteran tanks, nothing serious. Meanwhile, Cyberstorm has no ranks on his tanks here at all. Ranks tanks. But yeah, both sides scraping the bottom of the barrel for Tiberium, so they will be selling up a lot of their base now. You can see Cyberstorm doesn't have much left. He sold his MCV by the looks of things. LionCub still has it. He has got his tier 2 as well, so I'm not sure what he's planning to do with that. Obviously, he built Fanatics with it, but he could be getting like a sneaky flame tank out. That would definitely help. Harvesters going down over there. Meanwhile, Cyberstorm is trying to defend his expansion over here. All the tanks from LionCub are moving across here, and these Fanatic squads without Tiberium Fusion can't catch these tanks. Oh, he actually crushes some of those. That's unusual, and he should be killing these tanks right now. I'm not sure what he's trying to do with them. Yeah, they need to get an attack move. Meanwhile, these tanks up here, LionCub has more tanks. It's a battle of numbers right now. It's not about positioning. LionCub simply has more, and Cyberstorm's still trying to hurt him around a little bit, and LionCub not trying to overstep, which is really good. He's really playing a little bit conservative here, but at the same time aggressive. He's fanning out, and he's trying to keep Cyberstorm at bay. Cyberstorm still with more reinforcing tanks here as well, and actually LionCub's going to dart back across here now. And yeah, pretty intense, super intense. He's actually going to pull these tanks back now, and he should be able to kill a few of these tanks here very nicely. In the middle of the map again, absolutely no tech to speak of for either one of these players. Do we have a tier 3 down? No, we do not have a tier 3 down, so I'm expecting to see a flame tank come out somewhere. There's more tanks over here to try to defend this area. There's a few buggies just to tank some damage. LionCub might have to bring more tanks over here because he's only got 5 tanks now. He's going to be down to 4 very shortly. He doesn't have enough to hold off this army here from Cyberstorm, and the buggies will be revealing the stealth here, so they can start destroying these harvesters. But LionCub now has reinforcements. He should be able to hold these tanks down. He needs to focus down the red tanks, because if you can kill them first, you will lower the force multiplier that Cyberstorm has. You will take away the damage, because even if the tank has like 1% of its health left, it's still going to do 100% of its damage. So he needs to try to destroy those, but I think at the end of the day, he just has a little bit too much here, and he should be able to destroy those battle marker over there. Oh, these tanks actually moved through and destroyed this base. LionCub has more tanks over here, and he's going to rally these back to base now. And again, he's going to fight down here, but I think LionCub should just be able to win through attrition right now. And Cyberstorm is down, so wow, that was a pretty intense score battle there. We haven't seen a score fight like that on that magnitude on my channel for quite some time. Again, once they get rolling, those guys, they just don't stop with those Scorpion tanks. But I had a feeling that LionCub from the start had a few minor victories, and he worked that, and then he just used Defender's Advantage to repeatedly push back Cyberstorm. Cyberstorm did come back with a few crushing moves. He had a few moments where he did split LionCub in half and just wipe out half of his army, but I think at the end of the day, LionCub had more of those opportunities and did that more times, especially on the left-hand side where he crushed that army so convincingly. 0.88 kill-death ratio to Cyberstorm, 1.12 to LionCub, so there you go, there you have it, that's pretty much it. LionCub just had a better kill-death ratio. Scorpion tank, pretty much almost the only unit built by both factions aside from some bikes from LionCub. 185,000 to Cyberstorm and 181,000 to LionCub. So yeah, they have enough money there to build over 220 tanks each. So you can see there that Cyberstorm pretty much building nothing but that would have had probably in excess of 200 tanks in that game. 21 minutes 1 second in that game. Their units created 209. So yeah, there you go. If you count harvesters, he probably had a dozen harvesters throughout the game. He probably got pretty close. And LionCub, of course, probably didn't have as many tanks, but of course he won some of those battles a little bit more convincingly. She actually had more money most of the game. He did recover that deficit early on. LionCub not able to do that. If we go to the units here, you can see, yeah, LionCub just always had more tanks. There's a few big engagements. Look at that one. Cyberstorm had a crushing victory at that point there because his units went down a little bit, but of course LionCub's went down a lot. But again, there's a few here. Look at that one. Yeah, Cyberstorm lost big time there. LionCub almost lost nothing in that engagement, and of course just used that to his advantage. So that was an interesting fight. Very good fight. Anyway, stay tuned to my channel. More videos coming up. More special VODs coming up as well. I'm Green Zero, and I'll see you all next time.